episode, just when there was like nothing else to really talk about. I was playing Fantasian earlier tonight. I'm still, basically where I started the level 80 grind playlist, that location. I'm pretty much going to be there for a very, very long time. And if I leave, it's going to be probably get more items that I have plenty of and that don't seem to really be affected by just my ability to kind of stay there comfortably. That's where I'm going to be for a very long time. So I was there earlier today, and over the course of grinding as of late, I started using the Dimension machine, which is kind of like a mechanic in that game where you can turn on the Dimension, which is a device that will send enemies that you would have otherwise been forced to battle, albeit in the open world or just specific locations where when you're moving, running into an enemy is a possibility. Even when that happens, like I said, either in the open world or just, the Hidden Valley is a good example of what I'm talking about. Once you're inside Bernard's laboratory, at the end of that whole area, there's nothing to do but just explore and open chest if you have the respective keys for it. But once you leave his laboratory, that whole area that leads up to that one place is, so long as you're walking out there, you could potentially run into an enemy. So what the Dimension enables you to do, should you turn it on, lets you send enemies to one location that you do have to battle all at one time. And you can initiate the battle yourself at any moment, or it'll start for you when it overflows, past the, when the limit is reached. So, when I was grinding in that area, it was kind of the whole just like, whenever you instigate a battle, in a place where enemies can spawn, you can flee. I don't think I've never not been able to flee from a battle where I was trying to flee from. I haven't seen the fleeing option really fail, but then again, I don't try it that often. I try to battle my way out of most situations. One thing I've noticed, you can't leave like boss battles or even Dimension battles for that matter, but you can, leave kind of like a wild battle. We'll just call them wild battles. But like when you're, the reason I got to the top secret storage, which is where that area is technically called, where I'm staying at right now, I was just, trying to get experience. So because I was like able to comfortably kind of just traverse the area, I made it to the very end that leads up to Omega. But it's not hard to get to. I could have turned on the Dimension at some point to try to see if I could find it easier, but it's probably, I recommend if you're doing it to I recommend if you're trying to get to the top secret storage to just play naturally, and you'll find it. That's probably the best way to put it. You can there's guides on how to get there, and it is very confusing at first glance, but if you're someone who would, it's probably you'll find it on your own if you just turn off the Dimension and play around and turn all the switches on. There is you can get stuck in the area if you try to progress too quickly, but for the most part, that area is what it is. But where was I going earlier with this whole train of thought? Oh yeah, I was playing earlier tonight in that area, and as of late, have been using the Dimension Machine, thinking it would, because you do get technically more experience because when you're done, I mean, it's probably all relative, but it's just kind of for like the sake of change. It was something that I've been doing, and I felt like it was working pretty well, but like I got pretty tired recently. Like it just felt like it was getting a little arduous, just that whole process of using the Dimension Machine to farm with what I'm trying to do. So I left and kind of was doing what led me to that area, which is just running around, beating anyone that I was running into in these wild battles, and kind of made like another video that I believe at this point's probably done editing, that I'll probably turn into a channel trailer. Which is funny because I have one set to be uploaded that hasn't been uploaded yet. I'm sorry. I delete that stuff already. How did I get into the recycle bin? I was going to send it there anyway, but I guess I don't remember doing that just now. It was like something I was going to delete, just like automatically deleted itself. It's weird. I really don't remember just doing that right now. Because I was making the... It's odd. Anyways, well, that takes care of that. Let me double check and make sure it's still 975 videos here. So, I've been using the Dimension as of late, and it gets kind of like, boring, just doing that method of farming with what I'm trying to do. It's kind of like nice to change the pace and do something like traditional wild battling. And so I've been doing that with EZ, who's got like all these grenades he would still make, in addition to the buffs that he can give my party. I'm hoping it'll just make this whole process, a little bit easier. But I think I was going to stay there until I kind of milked like everything that he was able to use, albeit like the 3 forms of grenades and or his ability to, buff the party. When all those items ran out, I was going to, go back, teleport somewhere and just like, get more stuff. But I think when I'm going to like, it seems to go a lot faster when you're buffing the party with just his ability to provide the attack up and defense up, respectively. So I'm not gonna I still throw grenades from time to time, but I think I'm gonna prioritize like playing in that way while mixing in. I'm just gonna try to like steadily see if I can get done with all my items that are around the same time, while prioritizing attack up and defense up, like type of play. But I was doing that earlier and I made a new channel trailer. I'll pick back up in the next video.